This is Tier 3 Cosmic Omnics versus WeTheOpps. Tonight you have Jibba and Mr. CB as your casters.
Hello, everyone. This is going to be my first cast for this league, but I am excited to see some nice Overwatch from everyone. I don't really know much about these two teams, but from the mains that I was looking at in their profiles, they do seem to be some of them, anyways. Not necessarily one tricks, but specialists in certain roles. So I'm kind of excited to see a couple of people pull out their specialties. Yeah, we're going to be starting out in Elios, well specifically, and I'm excited to see what they managed to pull out. I'm hoping to see some dive, but honestly, we're probably going to get some Orisa, maybe some Rhine Diva if people are feeling a bit ballsy, maybe to just, I guess, deal with the well. So we'll see what they manage to pull out. We're seeing the Sombra coming from Skillmatic. Maybe that'll switch off, but I would like to see some of that. And we're going for a more traditional comp on this point for the side of KO. So I'm excited to see what they stick on or not. But yeah, let's get into this.
A stream watches me try to quickly actively figure out how to pause this game, but
That's all good. So yeah, we're seeing the same comp being run. They locked into at the start of it. The Sombra is going to be flanking on this side, setting up the translocator. Meanwhile, KO is just setting up on that point, just trying to establish control. But they seem to be rotating all the way around them to try to brawl them out. Magic Man manages to take out Rocky. The Reaper is down. That's the big DPS just gone. Roadhog almost manages to take out the Moira, just misses barely, and it's looking like WTO is just absolutely going to stomp him. Andrew taking out 3 in this fight, absolutely popping off. Zombie Dylan just goes down, but he takes out the Rhine with him, so that Lucio is going to go back and just taxi him. So, I mean, at this point, the Rhine Orisa, Hog Orisa, I should say, it's really tough to take control with the Orisa unless you have point first. So this is going to be a struggle for them to just break this, especially with that Reaper. Although saying that, Kakashi just absolutely one-tapping the Reaper. That is a big part of their team just down right now. The Hog just trying to brawl out this Rhine, but he just gets mollywopped, absolutely stomped by that Shatter. But Rocky taking out 2, Magic Man taking out their Moira, setting up that self-destruct. Not going to find anyone, though. And it's looking like KO is just going to take the point if they can just manage to take out these last couple of people. And they do. So it's 0-52. Not all hope is lost. They do have point control. That is actually pretty big for them, especially with this kind of comp, with the pull hog combo, the pull port combo as I like to call it. Skillmatic getting close to that EMP, so maybe EMP Death Blossom could be a pretty big combo to use on them. Their Pharah is just poking at him right now. Lucio has the sound barrier. Just in case the EMP does come out, he's going to have to play around that and just be very careful. Hog also has Whole Hog, and they also have Bongo. Coalescence being used from Goody. Hog charging straight into that Orisa, and just Whole Hog just coming straight through. Baja Blast getting absolutely destroyed by that Whole Hog. They're getting pushed back into the enemy spawn. Rocky taking out 2 yet again. Another fight where he just takes out 2. He's just absolutely, finding these picks and just destroying them. But it's 56-52. That's going to be a huge stagger, though, so I don't really know what WTO can necessarily do at this point. But they have EMP, so they could do something with that. EMP Death Blossom still. They have a opportunity to just take over the point. They just need to do it quick before it is too late and it's final fight territory. Zombie Dylan, though, killing Skillmatic before the EMP is used. Rocky finding 2 yet again. Huge picks from him, taking out Baja Blast and Disco. Orisa finding Goody And yeah, Kakashi just getting some of the cleanup going on the Rhine. It's 90 to 52 right now, so it's going to be very, very tough. They need to use this EMP and get some value out of it, or else nothing is just going to work for them. They just haven't been able to find an opening for this EMP, though. But here comes the Death Blossom from Baja Blast. Takes out 2, takes out 3, make that. Oh my goodness, Anime finding 2, though. This could be anyone's fight. Baja Blast taking out Anime, though. Only 2 on the point left from WTO, and they managed to just flip the point just in time. It's 99 to 60. It could be anyone's game at this point with the Shatter coming in, but they do have both support ults from WTO, so it's going to be tough. They're going to have to trade sound barriers or something to just sustain them. Reaper just poking down these tanks right now and just trying to find some poke damage. That huge haul coming from Swede, taking out Baja Blast, but self-destruct from Magic Man, taking out 2. Oh my goodness, that is huge. That could sustain them on the point for a little bit longer. Kakashi just falling off, just feeding into the abyss. Rocky just getting smacked and splattered onto the wall. They need to regroup, but it's too late. WTO takes it. 99 to 100. Huge. Alright, so we are hopping into Ruins right now. So you could see some sniping coming from either one of these teams. This is a pretty decent point to run the Ashe or Widowmaker if you choose to do so. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see any of that. But we are seeing a Junkrat from Skillmatic and Rocky. So a Junkrat mirror, it seems like. One is running Rhine Diva, which is WTO, and KO seems to be running this Rhine Zarya comp. So I think this will be a pretty interesting matchup for the tank line. However, Baja Blast changes from the Junkrat to the Sombra, so hopefully he can find some big EMPs here. I didn't really see much of the EMP coming through for him the last round, so hopefully he can build this one up a bit faster. Zarya hacked, but Magic Man taking out Swede. However, he gets demeched, and Kakashi and Zombie Dylan just absolutely just destroying them, taking out the other Ashe as well. Skillmatic just falls to Zombie Dylan. It's going to be tough for WTO to just sustain this point. Zombie Dylan popping right now, though, finding even more value from this Ashe. Already almost at 50% for his Bob, which is some pretty good ult charge. Andrew, though, at 90% for his Shatter. So they're going to have Shatter up before anything else. So it's going to be tough for KO to counter this unless Mace finds the Coalescence. The Sombra just poking in the back, just trying to deal some damage, trying to build up that EMP right now. Andrew has his Shatter, but he can't find really any openings. Rocky taking out Goody. That's a huge part of their healing core gone. They're not going to be able to sustain on this point. Going to have to build up the EMP and get out as fast as possible. So they're at 81 on the EMP. So that's going to be pretty big. Sweet clean up right now, taking out Andrew and Disco. Rocky staggering Killmatic, though. That's Skillmatic, I should say. That's going to be a huge stagger, actually, coming from them. So it is 50 to 9. That is pretty tough, and it's looking like KO has the ult advantage as well. 5 ults, almost all of them, compared to only 3. So it's going to be tough for WTO to just even contest this. Zarya just camping in the back, trying to find this grab. Manages to find both supports. Shatter comes down, though, but it doesn't really find any value. Skillmatic and Magic finding the only picks on their team, but it's not going to be enough. There's just too many dead on the side of WTO to just last in this point. They're at 80% cap on this point. They have EMP, so something could happen here, but it's not looking good. Sombra is going to try to back cap real fast. I don't think it's going to work out because the Junkrat and the Moira are just right there. Huge EMP coming out, manages to find 4, and Swede and Zombie Dylan just popping right now. Rocky taking out 1 as well. Swede, they're not going to be able to find value off of this EMP, I should say, and they're not going to be able to contest it, looks like, unless this Moira or Ryan has anything to say about it, but it's not going to be, it's just going to be too late to get to the point. They just got stomped in that round. It was 100-9. I don't know what we can expect for the next point, but that looked pretty one-sided. WTO needs to bounce back and make this a closer one, or else they're just going to lose this straight up. So we'll see what they run here. Looking like they're going to run the Symmetra or something, so that's going to be interesting. Kakashi seems to be going on this Sigma right here, which is interesting. Sigma is pretty good, but I don't think Sigma is that great with Ryan. I don't know how this tank synergy is going to work, but Baja Blast is bringing out this Mei right here. Kind of ironic when you have a cool, refreshing drink running a ice hero, so that's pretty funny. But yeah, the KO seems to have point control at the moment. That's pretty big, but the Mei could wall someone off possibly to just freeze him and just take him out. But Magic loses his mech. That's pretty big. These turrets are just poking him down. Swede taking out Andrew, but Andrew taking out Rocky. So that's going to be pretty big on the side of KO, I should say. Swede also taking out a couple more. That is going to be the cleanup on the Mercy, and that's going to be it. They have first point control. That's going to be big with the Symmetra because you can just set up the turrets and just poke at them from along with these energy balls. So Magic is going to switch over to the Winston. I can't say I agree with this since they have a Symmetra, but I'm not sure. Here comes the Shatter. Huge Shatter, just taking down, I believe, 3 on the side of KO, but it's not going to be enough to flip it. It could be anyone's fight, though, I should say. But Weeb is just going to get a couple of cleanup kills, and Rocky is going to get one with his turret. Wow, that is very shocking. A huge Shatter coming down from Andrew, but just still couldn't find anything. That is going to be tough. They have no ults to work with other than this Mei ult. Meanwhile, KO has everything in the kitchen sink to work with other than their Moira ult. So here comes the Flux from Kakashi. Finds like 3 of them right here, and but some of them escape through the Fade and the Ice Block. It's looking like Andrew is going to take a bit of that damage. Here comes the Mei ult. Shatter coming down to stun them for just a little bit, and so does the barrier. Weeb is taking out 1. Zombie Dylan also taking out another, but Andrew is popping right now, just taking out 2. I don't believe it's going to be enough, though, because Kakashi is just taking him out right here and there. Mei is just stalling at this point, so is the Winston, but they're just going to lose this one. And I don't know if anyone's going to be able to touch right here, so other than this Lucio, but it's just not going to be enough. KO is just going to take this one. Another one-sided affair. Oh, that is tough. From such a close map 1, point 1, I should say, to just absolutely getting stomped, I should say. That is tough, but I believe they can bounce back. Especially from that first point, if they can play like that, they can absolutely bounce back.
There was some unfortunate things that occurred during that map, though. Unfortunately, a member of the team that was playing was in stream, and that means that map is now forfeit. So it is 1-0 WeTheOpps. Unfortunately, due to the rules.
Well, you heard it here, guys. It looks like KO does not take that map due to some, I guess, technicality in the rules, and that's very unfortunate for them. I guess it just goes to show that, you have to follow the rules here. I mean, that's very unfortunate for them. But I don't know what to say. Like WTO or WeTheOpps played very well, but KO stomped them. So I that's very unfortunate for them. Uh, but I believe KO can come back, and hopefully they don't stream snipe anymore. That would be bad.
It's not that we necessarily think it's stream sniping. Sometimes people leave things up, but unfortunately, we have to go by what we can see when we check the spectators in stream. So
Hmm.
if you actively play in the map and you're in stream, it is a forfeit. If you are on the bench and in stream, it just means you can't play for the rest of the night.
Mm, that sucks. But hey, rules are rules here, so you have to abide by them. So WTO taking that off the forfeit, that's going to be big for him, actually. Uh, that's going to be a huge, I should say, a huge motivation. Uh, I guess not necessarily motivation, but it's a huge morale booster for WTO. But it's a big blow for KO, though. Uh, Morally, just winning that so soundly to just have that ripped away by someone in Twitch. Wow, that sucks.
All right, and we will go to the next map.
All right, next map we're looking at Watchpoint Gibraltar. Um,
No.
oh,
Next map is, I need to actually check. I'm pretty sure it's Numbani. I
Numbani.
don't I don't know why my there we go. Yes, no, next map is Numbani.
All right, Numbani. I was gonna say if it was Gibraltar, we could see some dive coming in, which is always fun to see. But since it's Numbani, I mean, you could see some dive on first point, but the rest of the map you would probably have to be running a double shield or maybe a Ryan Diva. I mean, you can get away with running dive, but it's just not going to work, especially on third point. There's just not enough like high ground to take. So yeah, that's just going to be unfortunate for that because I was hoping to see a little bit of dive, maybe some Tracer, Genji coming out, but um, I am excited to see perhaps on the defense we're going to see maybe a Widow or an Ashe because that's a good spot to run it on first point. Hmm.
All right, and we have swaps from WeTheOpps.
Okay. Who's coming in?
So it looks like Baja Blast and Dark Sombra are going to be on tank this time. We have Andrew and IQ on DPS and Deca and Disc on support still.
I'm excited to see kind of what Baja Blast plays as tank because his he seems to be a very flexible player. Like he seems to understand a lot of the DPS roles, so he might be running this Rhine here because um, I can see from his current season he's been playing a lot of Rhine, so perhaps he has a pretty good understanding of that hero as well. Dark Zombie though, or Dark Som 139, I'll just call him Dark. he I don't really know what he plays. Let me Diva. Interesting. So maybe Ryan Diva on this point.
So we have Siren coming in for Rocky, and we have our Falk from Mace.
Okay. So our Falk is gonna be the support, looking like he plays a lot of Moira. Sorry about the doggos. He likes to bark a lot. But yeah, he looks like he plays a lot of Moira. He has pretty high SR in support, so should be interesting to see what he pulls off with this. Because it seems like Anime is comfortable on that Lucio or Ana, so Lucio is going to be pretty good for Numbani, so we could see perhaps Lucio Moira being ran, so should be interesting to see here.
I always love a good goats, even though we cannot play goats.
It's a good thing there's a couple of goats leagues out there, but you know, running goats just one time.
It's the wrong map. I thought I fixed that one. Let's fix the map.
Yeah, just looking at Anime, his or her profile, not to assume, but their profile, they seem to be more comfortable on that Lucio and Ana, so we can see a lot of that here on Numbani, which is what we're going into right now. So let's see it. So here we are on Numbani. Lovely sight in the city. It would be very unfortunate if just some random people were to decide and just come destroy things. That would be rather unfortunate. Oh, what's that? They are going to come destroy this? Okay, that sucks. Baja Blast, though, and Dark Zombie are going to be the tanks. So those were your subs. Lady of Siren coming in, playing the DPS, which is a little odd because from what I saw on their profile, they seem to be better on the support, but we'll see what they can run here. They seem to be coming out with this Ashe Sombra with the Rein Zarya look. And yeah, just as I expected, Anime and our Falk are going to be running this Moira Lucio comp. So we'll see what they can do with this. I'm hoping to see more of Dylan just popping off, because he was doing pretty well with the Ashe on Ilios. So it'd be nice to see him coming through with some more Ashe play. But on the side of WTO, they seem to be running this Rein Diva with a Pharah Doomfist and Mercy Pocket for the Pharah. So we'll see what they can do. They're rotating to the left. Zarya just trying to get some of that bubble charge, that little energy charge. Gets put down pretty low, but Zombie Dylan taking out the Pharah, taking out Andrew. IQ Simple, though, taking out the Rein. That is a bigger loss, in my opinion. And Dark is just taking out Kakashi right there. Andrew gets res, so they're down 2. It's not looking good for them. They need to find a way to turn this or just regroup if I were the Lucio right now. So it's not looking good for them. However, Dark does overextend. That could give him a chance to flip it, but it's too late. The point is gonna be going to the side of WTO. Sorry. But that's going to be a big stagger, stopping their momentum. But a huge shatter comes down, finds 4 people. I don't think they're going to be able to capitalize on this, though. But another big shatter in return, taking down 3 members. No one capitalizing off either shatter, though. So I think these were just for the stuns, just to stop people in their place. Andrew taking out our Falk, and Dark is just taking out Swede. They're just rolling them right now. It's not looking like it's going to go well for KO. However, they are close to EMP, and they do have Bob online, so they could make something work with this, I guess. Because WTO doesn't really have much to work with other than the self-destruct and perhaps a barrage. So this EMP, if it gets online before the barrage, can shut everything down. Doomfist hacked right now, just trying to escape, but here comes a coalescence from our Falk. And but the Diva Bomb coming through from Dark, and it's not gonna do much other than stop him a little bit. And Rise coming through, huge EMP and a barrage as well, taking out a couple people, but Zombie Dylan, I should say, just taking out a few as well. The payload reaches the checkpoint. Kakashi taking out these tanks, a little bit of a cleanup going on from him, and yeah, that's just going to be it. So they managed to back cap, which is very interesting. That must be a huge blow to their morale right now, especially since now, if they're holding this close to the point, they just have a massive, I guess, spawn advantage. But that Shatter coming down finds no one. Baja Blast taking out Swede. Bob is coming down, but he gets charged into the corner and gets taken out. IQ taking out Zombie as well. So that's just not going to really work out. Zombie gets res only to be Forsaken, and they're just rolling this cart right now. Not really much to stop them in their tracks. They do also have a couple ults to work with. The only thing coming online for KO is this Grab and Coalescence. Grab finds a couple of people, manages to find that Valking Mercy, which is pretty huge. That's a waste of a Valk. And Sweet just lands the Fire Strike, and cleanup coming from everyone from KO. And yeah, that's the team kill. So KO is just going to be holding a little bit close to this payload right now. They don't want to C9 like last time. WTO do have a couple ults to work with right now, so it's looking not all that bad for them. Although Shatter coming online from Swede and EMP, so maybe an EMP Shatter if Swede builds his Shatter in time. He's very close to it, but Baja Blast has a Shatter of his own. Could find something pretty big with this. They drop down, and IQ Simple just falls to Falk immediately. They're getting pushed up into this little back corner. Shatter finds no one. He was trying to go for a flank Shatter and just found nothing of value except just to, I guess, lead them over here for the grab, and they managed to take out Anime. So they're just trying to push him back, trying to find a couple of these kills coming up right here. Swede getting taken out by Andrew. Some shots coming down from the McCree. Zombie Dylan switches to McCree as well. He has a high noon right now. Dark Zombie though taking out two. That's gonna be big. They need to find something to stop him. High noon coming out and manages to find out Anime. So there goes the res. Andrew finding another one to end it, and there it is. I should say. 3 minutes left on the clock. Just about for WTO. That is pretty big for Numbani, I should say, especially for that third point, which is notorious for just being held at that point. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what KO runs on the offense to respond to this absolute stomp, I should say, from WTO. That was a pretty huge offense. I don't really know how they're going to respond, but here we go. It's looking like they're running a Fire of their own with Lady of Siren and Anime running the Pharmacy combo. Falk is going to be running this Moira. And so we're going to have a Pharmacy, Rhine, Zarya mirror. However, that's going to be switched up real fast. No Mercy, and I'm assuming no Pharah, unless that Pharah is just going to get healed from afar. I don't think so, though. Zombie Dylan going to be running this McCree. Let's see if he can click some heads, I should say. IQ Simple running this Soldier, which is kind of a throwback to like old school Overwatch. Don't really see too much Soldier played nowadays. He's going to be trying to take high ground right here. WTO has an interesting comp, not really going to be able to heal this Pharah. Meanwhile, KO has this Pharmacy coming down. We'll see how long that Pharah can sustain on her own, pretty much. But in terms of comp-wise, I believe KO has the superior comp. but maybe mechanical skill can outplay it all. IQ Simple just getting dropped, though. There goes their hit scan. That is a pretty big pick. Lady of Siren and Andrew just trading blows. Dark falls very low. Huge shatter coming down. 3 people are down, and they manage to clean up a couple of them, make that pretty much all of them, and that's going to be the team wipe. And that's going to be it. That's the first point capped just as fast as WTO managed to do it, if not faster. So they're going to have 5 minutes to push this 2-second point, and they need all the time they can get, especially with that time that WTO put up. But they are going to be holding close right here, trying not to let them have any breathing room. That pharmacy is pretty close to each other. The Pharah is down, though, so that Mercy has really no one to pocket except for maybe Dylan. Shatter coming down finds only like one person, though, so not really any value coming from it. Andrew, though, taking out one. Baja Blast taking out another, make that 2. And Zombie Dylan manages to trade one, though, with the flashbang. It's not really going to make much of a difference, though. So that's just going to be a team fight loss for them. And they're just still going to be holding close right here, almost at the spawn of KO. WTO does have Barrage to work with and Grav, so that could be a nice little combo they pull off. Dark finding one, though. That's a pretty big loss for him. And here comes the Grav and the Barrage. Barrage late, in my opinion, but it does take down 3. IQ Simple takes him down, though, so he trades with his life. But Anime reses him right back, I should say. But Andrew manages to pick him off. And Lady of Siren. So that is going to be pretty big picks. I don't think it matters much, though, because WTO doesn't have the manpower. They only have this Soldier and Pharaoh to work with. So they're going to get some free cart push right here. Here comes the High Noon. Finds IQ Simple. He's caught out. And Zombie just takes advantage. Huge Shatter finding 4. And that's going to be pretty big. Andrew, though, finding Zombie. It's not going to be very much, though, because KO just absolutely steamrolls him right here. Swede manages to find some of the cleanup right here. Zombie also gets Zombie also gets rezzed. And they have about 4 minutes, 30 seconds to work with right here. Lots of time. They could even get a faster time bank than WTO. We'll see if that can happen. Swede, however, does get taken out. So it's going to stop them right in their tracks. Dark Zombie taking out a couple, though. It's not going to be much, though, because they seem to be pushing this without their main tank, which is very interesting. Sorry about that. Lady of Siren taking out 2. That is pretty big. They're going to get a lot of cart push right here. So they could cap this right here and right now with about a minute more than WTO had. Here comes the Coalescence, though, to try to stop them in their track, and the Shatter comes down as well, finds a couple of people. IQ Simple finding one. High Noon finding Andrew, though. It's not going to be enough for KO, though. WTO is just going to stop him right here. So I guess they got me there. They didn't manage to cap with a larger time bank, but it could be very close. We'll see what WTO can do right here for this defense. This Moira's trying to be a little sneaky, just hiding in this little corner right here. He manages to escape, though. So KO is going to be coming in. They have this Grav combo to work with the Pharah. They also have a Shatter coming up online. So we'll see what happens. Andrew falling very low and taking out by a Fire Strike from Swede. However, they respond right back. Dark Zombie taking out 2. But the Grav comes through. Doesn't really find much, though. Zombie Dylan popping off. And Lady of Siren gets taken out. Doesn't really find much with a Barrage. In my opinion, that was a bit of a waste. So they're going to be able to hold this yet again. And they managed to stagger out Kakashi. So they're going to have to regroup right now if they want a decent time bank to just even compete with WTO's time bank. So yeah, they're going to be trying to hold this choke right here with the Orisa from Baja. The poke damage coming through though from Lady of Siren. She doesn't have her barrage because she used the last fight. But they do have a couple more ults to work with. Here comes the High Noon, and they trade each other, Andrew and Zombie Dylan. Shatter coming through, and it finds a couple people, actually, pretty big. And Lady of Siren just trying to get these cleanups right here to stall them out. There, Baby Diva shooting at the Rhyme, but it's not going to do much, of course. So here it is, the final stretch of it, of the point. The Lucio, however, is stopping the cart in its place, just trying to stop them as much as possible so they can regroup and have one more fight. They have about a minute left to work with, so they're going to have to find something right here, right now, KO that is, if they want to, cap this. Here comes the self-destruct, blocked by the Rhine, but IQ Simple gets the 3K with the visor. Oh my goodness, that is huge. Baja Blast also taking out Swede, but Dark gets demeched, but it's not really going to do much in my opinion. KO has a minute to work with only. It's going to be very rough for him to cap this, and even if they cap it, they're not going to have much time compared to WTO, that is. So we'll see what they can do. However, Lady of Siren taking out Andrew, that could be the opening they need. That's going to be their support killer just gone. Coalescence being popped right now, and Valkyrie also used. The grab combo with Lady of Siren finds a couple people. Arfalk also uses that Coalescence, finding a couple people, one with that skill orb, make that 3 people. They absolutely pop, and that's going to be the cap right here. They have a minute left because of the rules of Overwatch, but other than that, WTO has a much larger time bank to work with. It's going to be tough for KO to just come back.
I mean, a minute you can still do a whole lot with a minute, in my opinion. What do you think these two teams needed to do a little bit differently there, especially for KO at the end?
KO didn't really do much wrong at the end there. They got the picks, but they just weren't able to capitalize and just finish WTO off. They managed to, WTO just out of pure, I guess, mechanical skill, just managed to come back in those fights. And it also didn't help that some of their ults from KO were just being wasted. So I think ult economy from KO could have been a lot better.
To be fair, though, it is when you almost have point and or when you're kind of seeing your time bank go down, it's super pressuring. So you do sometimes over ult a little bit, especially if you think it's going to help win you the point. But then it does leave you sometimes in a little bit of a bad position if you don't, and especially for your next fight.
Yeah, that's true. It just felt like such a big waste to pop Barrage. That could have ended the point. Well, that could have pushed the cart to the end a lot sooner. But that Barrage was just kind of thrown in there, even though they were down 1 or 2 people. But anyways, we're going to see KO running this Bastion over here. Interesting comp being run. He's going to be in the corner right now with the Symmetra and the Moira. They're just trying to cheese him out of the first point just to cap right here. It's working, it seems like. Zombie Dylan finding a couple right here. Make that 3. He's absolutely popping. Make that 4. Taking out 4. And that's going to be the point right here.
That was a beautiful rotation and use of cooldowns there. Nice Batfield, nice shield, and everybody dropped immediately.
And man, that must really have gutted WTO right here to be so close to like not having to really do much to win, to having to actually cap to win, and that it's not over yet. They could get more out of this. They could cap second point theoretically if they keep this Bastion alive and poke at him. Bastion does fall though, gets hooked out of his turret form by Dark. They're just poking at him right now, just trying to find a couple more picks. Andrew finding one. IQ Simple just up top, just trying to burst them down with these rockets and these bullets from Soldier, trying to get them off the point. They're going to have to work very hard to get them off, though. Coalescence being popped by Arfalk. Anime is probably going to use this window right here to just take control of the corner. And yeah, they do. Andrew, though, taking out a couple. This could be it. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be it. IQ Simple and Dark Zombie take out a couple more. And it's looking like that's going to be it. Flux kills one. I don't think it's going to be enough. That's going to be it. They managed to cap, though. So that's pretty big.
That flux did allow them to get it to move just another fraction further, so that fraction could make that difference.
Very true. Very true. And KO is going to have to work very hard for WTO to not win because they do have 3 minutes. But it is very possible to full hold as long as they don't get cheesed or as long as a big pick doesn't come in early. It's very plausible for them to just win this outright, especially since they cap and got a little bit, because you can definitely spawn camp in Numbani anyways if the team manages to cap the point. So we're seeing KO running this May comp with Ryan Zarya. So they're hoping that the May shuts down whatever WTO decides to run. And IQ Simple is going to be running this Sombra from the side of WTO. So this could be just a win condition, perhaps, if they really want the EMP to just win them a fight, which is pretty smart by them.
A nice EMP bomb or EMP Farah if they can build them up quick enough.
Yeah, they have 3 minutes to do so, so they have plenty of time to build this EMP and this barrage. IQ Simple taking out Zombie Dylan, that's the pick that I was talking about. That could decide the fight right here, right now. No dynamite damage to speak of. That charge absolutely whiffs from Swede. Charged in return. Zarya hacked, though, so that's going to be the bubbles missing for just a little bit. Lady of Siren just getting taken down by Andrew, and but Dark Zombie being demeched. So Zombie Dylan taking out Andrew, though. This could be anyone's fight right here. Swede taking out 3. Oh, that's a huge picks right there. That's going to be huge. That just stops them right in their tracks. So close yet so far from WTO. And the ults to work with, you got Shatter. EMP is almost built. You have Coalescence and Valkyrie. You almost have this Barrage. You can build that very fast. So you have a lot of ults to work with here coming online anyways. Swede has his Shatter, so that could be pretty big. Here comes the Sombra trying to find his poke damage with the Sombra, but there's a huge Shatter coming down from Swede. It manages to take out Baja Blast and Andrew, being taken out by Zombie. So that is going to be the fight right here. But EMP and Barrage are pretty much online. If not the EMP, then the Shatter Barrage is online. So that could be a fight one right there if they manage to set this up perfectly. But Kakashi does have Grav. That's a pretty big ult for this point anyways. It's a pretty nice ult to have. But IQ Simple has his EMP. Could shut down the Lucio, who has his beat. And here it comes. Hacks the Rhine. I thought EMP was coming down. Here comes the barrage, though, from Andrew. And here comes the EMP as well. Huge EMP. And that's going to be the fight. WTO manages to take him out, completely wiping him. And that could be all they need, as long as the spawns don't come through. But it's looking like they are. So they have just one more fight to win right here for WTO. And they used pretty much every single ult they have. Meanwhile, KO has pretty much all their ults except for Sound Barrier and Shatter. Ryan getting hacked, though, just for some ult charge, though. I don't really know if that's going to do much. Zombie Dylan being taken out by Andrew, though. I mean, no, my bad, all the way around. Sorry, I read the wrong thing. Swede taking out Baja Blast. Disco, however, rezzing Andrew. Kakashi just taking him out yet again. So it's just looking like it's going to be a hold right here. They need to regroup right now, WTO that is, and they need to regroup right now and get everything together. So they have one more fight, and here's the fight. They have Shatter. Everyone's falling very low though. Zombie being taken out of mech. Shatter coming down, but finding nothing. Here comes the tactical visor. Shatter coming down from KO finds nothing as well. But there's a big grab. Everyone caught in it, and everyone getting taken out that was in the grab. Swede denies the res, taking out the Sombra as well. That's going to be the fight, and KO manages to hold them. It's 1-1, all tied up in the series. That was a very nice hold coming from KO. And here we see Kakashi with the play of the game. Huge grab, and just mainly support here. Also taking out Baja Blast. Nice little play. So yeah, it's 1-1. It's all evened out right here. So, could be anyone's game. That was very close. It came down to one last fight. And again, what I was talking about this whenever KO did it, but WTO did the exact same thing that I said KO did, which was bad ult economy. They threw every single ult to win that fight when really they won that fight without that Shatter, I believe. They didn't need that Shatter at the end. That EMP was plenty of it did plenty of work. So they could have won the fight and still had a Shatter to work with.
Really nice hold there from KO though, because that was almost a 2-3 minute push there from WeTheOpps.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that first fight could have went either way. That would have been the deciding factor if KO would have lost that fight. If KO would have lost that fight and not made that comeback, that would have probably been the map. But they did manage to hold them with the help of Swede, just popping on that Rhine. And from there, it was just shutdown after shutdown from KO, which, it went from 3.5 minutes to just 1 minute to work with, which is exactly what WTO had to work with. KO had to work with. So, I mean, it was pretty big hold from them. They did all they had to do to win that. Any subs coming through?
We do have subs. So we have Magic coming in for Baja, and we have Skill for Deca. And then we just have to wait on the side of KO to see if they have any swaps.
Okay.
And we go to everybody's favorite Temple of Anubis.
Everyone's favorite. It's not the worst 2CP map. 2CP, a very notorious game mode in Overwatch. I don't know. I personally don't like 2CP, but I mean, if it's on Anubis, I'm fine with it. Anubis or Hanamura, I'm fine with it. As long as it's not Paris or Horizon.
Paris and Horizon are currently out of rotation for our league due to them getting fixed by Overwatch, and we didn't really want to play them while they might be undergoing some kind of fixing. So if they do get fixed by our next couple of rotations, they do come back, but right now they are definitely out.
I think the problem with 2CP, though, is just the spawns from the defense. Like, that's just so annoying. The spawns from the defense are horrible on the second point. In every single one of the maps, it's all bad. Because like a team can win a fight 3 times and still lose because uh, the wrecking ball manages to find a pick somewhere. I don't know. But I mean, if we had to play a 2 CP map, Temple of Anubis would be my choice. It's a very fun map to run snipers on, but you can also get away with some cheese strats with Junkrat, Bastion, Torb, Symmetra. You see a lot of weird stuff coming out from this map, which is always nice to see. But you also could get some. You could also get some, traditional stuff, which some people don't like, but I kind of like it. You see the Ryan Zarya sometimes, and I kind of like it. With it reminds me of the GOATS era. Which personally I was a fan of since I play a lot of Zenyatta, and Zenyatta got actually played in GOATS, so.
I did love me some goats. I was a brig player for goats, so I feel you on that.
Hmm. I don't know, playing Zen is just so satisfying to hit some of those, well, I say right clicks, but that's because I played on PC for a while. I was kind of a Zen one trick on PC, so
Who doesn't love
not the.
playing Zen?
I know he's so fun. It just sucks that he's bad. Sucks that he's bad at healing and mobility, but damage-wise he's great. But I mean, you'd rather run a Baptiste or on a literally anything else or Brig. So yeah, we got the go-ahead from everyone, and we're heading into Temple of Anubis. I'm excited to see what both teams manage to pull off here. We're switching up the sides, so KO is going to be the red team, and WTO is going to be the blue team this time. So I'm interested to see what they bring. I'm hoping some interesting stuff. Maybe we get lucky, see some Torb around here. Everyone's favorite. And if we do, I want to see a hammer kill. We got to see a hammer kill. Alright, so on the defense, we have WTO. Oh, wait. Yeah, WTO is on the defense. I almost got confused. They're going to be running Sim. Like I said, you see a lot of weird stuff on this map. You have the Sim Junkrat, which normally would be a bad DPS duo, but here it's actually pretty good. Like you have the traps set up, you got the turrets just sprayed everywhere. She's actually pretty good with Junkrat here. Zombie Dylan's going to be on this Widowmaker, and Siren is going to be on the Echo. So I'm kind of excited to see what Zombie Dylan can do on this Widow. His hit scan's been pretty good all day, so we'll see what he can do here. They realize they have a Symmetra because they are turrets, destroying them. This Widow's setting up on the high ground right here, your usual high ground. Their Echo is just pushing right here, just trying to find some picks, trying to sticky bomb a couple people. They're right in the heat of it, right in the mix. They have a Baptiste though from WTO, so it manages to save them a little bit of damage. Dark Zombie taking out the Rhine with the rock. Zombie though finding Skillmatic, but it's probably not going to be enough. We probably have to regroup here. But Zombie Dylan gets an exiting pick right here onto man, so it could be a winnable fight if they manage to push in right here, right now, and try to take it while the re are coming in. The Sim teleports them to the high ground. Pretty scary having Orisa on the high ground, honestly. Her gun does a lot more damage than you'd think. And speaking of that, Andrew just getting taken out. Oh no, Andrew taking out Siren, I should say. So yeah, they're both on the high ground. The Ryan almost gets pulled off the high ground. They fall. WTO falls to the high ground. But Kakashi taking out Magic Man. But Magic Man finding that pick onto the Moira. So we're trading supports right here. But all the supports are down for the side of of KO, so it's going to be hard for them to sustain on this point. They're probably going to fall pretty soon, but Lady of Siren and Zombie Dylan are just going to pop right here and try to carry this thing. So yeah, here comes the Coalescence. They take out Junkrat, and that's going to probably be it. Lucio trying to stall it out as much as he can, but it's just not going to be enough. That's just going to be the cap. And that's a pretty good time.
Sweet and Kakashi did, even though they were kind of the two in the back line, a really good job of just keeping each other up to kind of put some pressure on those tanks, which allowed for Lady and Dylan to either come in or get some really good picks there on those fights.
Yeah, they did find some great value out of their bubbles. It charged that Zarya all the way up. Zarya gets trapped though, so that's going to be a problem. Swede getting taken out, but Kakashi taking him out right back. It's going to be tough for him to push. I wouldn't recommend pushing this, but they're probably just going to try to spam to build some ults maybe. Siren just getting taken out by Dark Zombie though, however, gets rezzed, so it doesn't really matter. Siren does fall low a little bit, but he has the pocket mercy, nothing to worry about. So WTO has plenty of ults to work with, pretty much all their ults, I should say, and KO only has 3, maybe 4 if they can build up this. Here comes the Flux, gets both tanks, and both tanks fall very low, but the Grav comes in and doesn't really find much due to the Immortality Field. Siren finding Skillmatic, but IQ Simple taking out their tank, their Zarya, I should say, and that's just going to be it. They need to regroup here, get out, and just try to, save them, the ult charge, I guess. But Zombie Dylan finding Dark Zombie, and it's going to be a little bit of a big pick, but, the respawns of 2 CP, it's not really going to matter. They're just trying to find some poke damage here, build the ults right here. So they have popped the, not visor, the walls right here. Zombie Dylan taking out Magic with Skillmatic, taking out Lady of Siren, probably going to get rezzed. Kakashi taking out Andrew. This is what they need. This is it. Here comes the Shatter, finds nothing really, but the rest comes through, and Kakashi taking out 3. He is popping right now, and they're probably going to get 2 ticks here before they're able to contest. Yep, the Lucio comes in, contests for them. It gives them a little bit of time to work with. Zombie, though, taking out 1, but Kakashi is still popping and taking out even more people, trying to hard carry this, but gets taken out by Magic Man. They just need to take out this Wrecking Ball and this Baptiste, and that's just going to be it. But nope, here come the respawns. Even more, you get the Lucio and the Rhine coming through. This is going to be a problem for WTO. Just the constant respawns coming through. IQ Simple taking out their Moira. That's going to be pretty big. There's their main heals pretty much gone, but Lady of Siren just popping, taking out 2. Grav comes through, taking out the Baptiste. Zombie Dylan finding 2, and Swede finding the Baptiste at the end of it. That is going to be it. With 1:50 left, they managed to cap. Take a drink of water.
Always a necessary thing.
Yep. So yeah, the respawns did get a couple of people, but it wasn't as big as I thought it would be, especially since the respawns came faster than they usually would. So yeah, they did cap with a good bit of time, especially on a 2 CP map. So we'll see what WTO has to do this. So they're running the Doomfist and the Junkrat, it looks like. But
really good stall there, though, from WeTheOpps, honestly, to kind of eat off a little bit more time there, because I think KO pushed in with almost about 4 minutes, a little bit under.
Oh, I think it's the other way around, right? KO is the blue team right now, right?
Nope,
blue
KO's
team.
red.
Yeah, red. I think we both got them confused. Them. It's okay. Yeah, they're running this Pocket Mercy right here. This could be a problem to deal with, especially since they don't have any hit scan from KO, that is. KO is running the McCree, looking like. The Rhines pin each other, and it's not really going to do much, though. But Andrew taking out the Rhine, Arfalk and Lady of Siren finding two, so it's going to be tough for them to really push into this, especially since the Rhine just got res. Lady of Siren gets taken down, though. I don't think it's going to really change anything. But they do have spawn advantage, so that could be a pretty good pick onto the Pharah. Someone's trying to backcap here. It looks like looking like the Moira is, just to put some pressure, you know, pull them back a little bit.
Nice escape out there, though, from Skill.
Yeah, he did manage to weasel his way out of there. Here comes a huge slam and mines. Did it in the wrong order, but it does find Disco, or Disq. I'm guessing Disco. But Zombilin and Swede just finding these picks right here. It's going to be pretty big. Soldier just trying to camp out in this corner, trying to survive. But the Pharah finds him and just takes him out. That is pretty sad. Pretty sad for IQ Simple. Here comes another Wrecking Ball setting up on the high ground like last time. Big slam coming through. He's trying to escape now. He's about half, so he's just kind of feeding ult charge into him. He's still setting up on this high ground here. Getting a bit of heals going. So he's probably going to slam in just a second. However, they are pushing onto this this right side here. Shatter comes through, finds a couple of people, and they do find a lot of picks there with the Shatter and the High Noon combo, just taking out about 4 of them. And I don't know, Zombie Dylan and Swede have both been playing very well today. And I don't know what WTO can really do here. I don't know what they can really push in with. Perhaps Riptire can confuse them, but they probably have to pop Sound Barrier before they go in, or Coalescence before they just push in, because this Pharah here has the Barrage and is just trying to poke them down. Here comes the Riptire, like I said. Riptire finding 4! That is absolutely insane. The grab was also used, but I don't know if it set it up or not. I didn't see it with the assist kill feed, but they did cap with that huge 4K from Magic Man. That was absolutely insane. So yeah, they have a couple ults to work with here to just push in, but Lady of Siren and Anime still have their ults. And Kakashi still is getting very close to his as well. So KO has a couple of things to work with on this defense. But WTO pushing again on the right side. Probably going to pop Sound Barrier here any moment to probably stop these mines. Yep, here comes the mines. But they just let them go. But IQ Simple finding 2. And Lady of Siren taking out IQ Simple, though. So he trades 2 for 1. Barrage being popped, and Magic Man just getting taken out by that. Andrew taking out Zombie Dylan, though. So this could turn the fight. And here's the Shatter. And that's just going to be the fight. That's going to be it. KO managed to hold him right here. That is pretty big. And here comes the Valking Mercy taking out 2. You love to see it. You love to see the Valking Mercy get a couple of picks. So yeah, Dark switching on to the Diva to, I guess, stop some of the spam coming through from Pharah. Maybe stop a couple of fire strikes from landing, but it doesn't really make much of a difference, though, because Siren taking out Skillmatic and Magic Man. That is rather unfortunate. Oh, IQ Simple he pops his ult. I don't know why he did that, because Lady Siren just takes him out immediately. That was not winnable. He shouldn't have popped that. But in any case, Lady Siren is just absolutely steamrolling right now, just popping off. Diva trying to get in Siren's face, but it's just not really gonna do anything. Uh, Dark Zombie does get demeched, so that's gonna be their I guess their protection from these rockets just gone. They really need to pick off this Pharah or their Mercy to just find something. That's the key right here, is to just take out Pharah or Mercy with your soldier, but I don't know if that's really gonna work out. Kakashi taking out Skillmatic, and Siren finding Simple. There goes the hit scan, and there goes their Rhine. So they're not gonna be able to push that. They need to get out as fast as possible, and Dark needs to either sacrifice himself or build this mech really fast.
I was going to say, I want to see them leave this baby diva out of mech here. We have a
Junkrat
back
Junkrat trying to back cap. Doesn't find really anything though. Just gets instantly taken out by Zombie Dylan. But does take out Arfalk, but the spawns in 2CP. He's gonna be back in no time with his team. And now we're looking at a case where KO has literally every single ult. They pop the Flux, taking out trying to take out this Diva mech. And IQ Simple getting taken out by the Flux as well. Zombie Dylan just getting steamrolled right here. Everything is just being used right now. Zombie Dylan is just popping too. Man, he just takes out pretty much everyone right there. They're both DPS have been playing out of their minds this map. And KO is probably going to full hold them here on second point. Unless it comes down right here, Shatter coming down and doesn't really find much. But Swede taking out a couple, but Dark Zombie taking out 2 with the self-destruct. It's not really going to add up to anything because KO just, I don't know, they just stopped him. Full hold him. Wow, KO just full held them on second point. They barely even touched it too. Like they only touched the point for like a bat cap pretty much. And yep, here's play of the game. That 4K rip tire was pretty big. Oh wow, he just hopped right in there, and the grab was thrown in for I guess extra measure. It really wasn't necessary.
Incredible elims there, though, from Kakashi. And damage from Lady of Siren. Plus the damage blocked from Andrew was really, really good.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, that puts KO up in the series 2-1 after the unfortunate start from him. But there it is, 2-1. And I'm assuming this is a 3-game first to 3, so one more game to win, I'm assuming.
So in our league, we always go to 4 because map differentials are super important in regards to playoffs. So even if you end up 3-0 and you win the series, you still play map 4. You only go to map 5 if it's 2-2. If you, as an example, draw this third map, then it is a negated map, and you still only go to the next map, basically, to decide who wins and who doesn't win.
Okay. So, yeah, KO up 2-1. And it's going to come down to this. They do... I mean, all they need to do is just win this map. And that's it. But WTO could come back right here, tie it up, and send it to a map 5. That would be pretty exciting to see, honestly. So, yeah, what map are we jumping into?
Next, we will be going to Rialto.
Rialto, I mean, it's a very good map for Pharah, so I'm expecting to see some more of that from Siren. Really, what IQ Simple could run, since it seems he plays a little bit more hit scan, and I saw a little bit of Doom as well. You could see some Doom here. But if you know Siren's running that that Pharah, you probably shouldn't be running Doomfist, so he might want to think about, going over to the McCree or the Ashe or the Widow or just something to shut him down, because honestly, Soldier does not do enough to stop him unless he takes out the Mercy Pocket first, which we all know Moth meta is kind of annoying, so Mercy's just hard to take down in the sky. So I'd like... Oh, never mind. IQ Simple's being subbed out for Baja Blast. Interesting. Who's their main hit scan then? Since this is a good map for Pharah. Let me take a quick look. Magic Man has some good hours on Widow and Hanzo. Could be something. And Baja... Doesn't really have much DPS in his slot, but his highest played was Widow, I believe, so you could see some Widow here. Not really too sure. Okay, thanks for the heads up. I mean, honestly, like, if we're talking MVPs, as of right now, MVPs for KO, Swede, and probably Anime. I would probably give it to them. And for WTO, maybe Magic Man, or Magic Man or Andrew. But that's just theory at this point. We have to see how Rialto plays out.
Yeah, you always want to see how Rialto plays out so that you can award the tank, the DPS and the heals to the proper teams there on those ones. Because we've seen some really good DPS from the side of KO. I mean, Zombie and Lady are killing it, but they're getting a lot of counter back from Magic Man. I do agree with you, and I think it was Doc Sombre we saw on the Sombra did a really good job.
Yeah,
IQ also did a really good job.
I mean, if IQ was in here, he would probably, he'd be one of my picks for WTO, in consideration. But, I don't know, usually when a player sits out for a map, I typically don't like giving it to him because, they didn't play the whole time. It's just, and honestly, Andrew has been playing pretty well to counter them as much as he could. From his Pharah and from it was mainly his Pharah and his that was trying to counter Siren on Noombani, and he did a pretty good job at that, honestly.
And we got readies from both teams, so we go.
Yep. Hopping into Rialto, like I said, I expect to see some Pharah. So especially from Siren, and I'm expecting maybe McCree or Ash from Zombie. For Swede and Kakashi, if you ain't broke, don't fix it. So they're probably gonna go Ryan Zarya. But it could be a problem if they decide to just if WTO, I should say, decides to come out with some sort of cheese boop at the beginning, which is what it looks like they're going to be trying to do. Kakashi, though, is on the Roadhog, so he could be trying to look for one of these pools as well. These hooks into the nice little canal. Take him for a swim, It's pretty hot outside, probably, so I want to go for a little swim, cool off. But, yeah, Magic Man is going to be on this Widowmaker, and Andrew going to be on this Pharah, so could see some counterplay. Maybe Magic is thinking they're going to run Pharah, but Siren's going to be running this Mei, which is interesting. I don't believe we've seen KO run Mei this series, so we'll have to see how that works. Here comes the Widow, just trying to take some pot shots right here. Mei's trying to counter right now. with these icicles, but no one's really doing too much damage. However, Dark and Andrew taking out two very quickly, and that's just gonna be put them at such a big disadvantage. And there goes their Mei. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the fight. They could try to regroup right here and hold them right before the point. So they just need the respawns to come in as fast as possible. Magic Man is falling a bit low, but that Hog pulls in. Dark running, getting pretty low on the Hog. He has that heal though, so not really too much of an issue. Zombie Dylan is just desperately trying to take out Andrew right now. But Baja Blast falls to Swede on the Fire Strike, but Goody instantly reses. So that's going to be all good and dandy. But Zombie Dylan taking out Magic Man and Kakashi taking out Goody. There goes their pretty much their main heal, except Schematic is still alive. Never mind. Zombie Dylan, though, taking out even more. He's just absolutely popping. Like, he's been doing so great all day. His hit scan is crazy.
Interesting, because there were a couple of separate fights there. We saw Anime and Kakashi kind of diving the backlines, making half of the team of WeTheOpps turn, which allowed Lady of Siren to wall off Baja, and the rest of the team able to collapse.
Swede is has the shatter right here. Could do something with it. Huge self-destruct coming through from Kakashi, taking out Junkrat and Roadhog. And here comes the rest of the cleanup right here. Everyone getting a little bit of the piece of the pie. And KO has lots of ults to work with here. And so does WTO. So, could be an interesting exchange. They are going to have to... KO is going to have to be careful of this bongo. It's going to be pretty tough to deal with. It just, leaves people alive for so long. And a huge shatter coming through, finding three. Zombie Dylan and Swede taking out a couple, though. So, but I don't think it's really going to add up to anything. Because, there's just too many dead on the side of KO. It's up to the Moira, Diva, and Lucio to just stall this out, and hopefully the respawns get back. And here they are. But the whole Hog is just pushing them back. The male, though, is being laid out, and that's going to be pretty big. But freezes a lot of people. No one's able to follow up on it. Andrew taking out two with the Pharah, and I think that's just going to be it. I think that's the point. They captured about a minute left. So wait, it's not over yet. Now they cap with about 45 seconds left, and 3 minutes to work with here. Plenty of time to cap the second point. They do only have one ult to work with, Magic Man with his Riptire, but KO has the Bob. They have the Sound Barrier and the Coalescence, and they almost have their tank ults up. So they do have a pretty big ult advantage. Zombie Dylan and Anime just taking out a couple of people, and Kakashi lays on a nice little Diva Bomb to take out Baja Blast after he gets rezzed. So they're going to have to fall back right here, regroup. It'll take a little bit to gather themselves. But that's going to be a big stagger.
I liked seeing the patience there from Anime Weeb. He was stuck in the back line as the rest of WeTheOpps kind of pushed the point there, and he waited till payload was over bridge before wall riding out to make sure he got back to the rest of the team without staggering himself.
Yeah, that's a nice little sneaky play. Anime's been playing very well. Huge shatter coming through, taking out three people. Swede finds the pin onto a couple. One of them goes into the river for a little swim, and Bob just popping. However, Bob, sadly, our fallen brother, gets taken out by Baja Blast. Swede getting a little bit of a stagger right here, but he also gets taken out. There goes the main tank. And that's going to be a pretty big pick if they manage to come in before, if they manage to push before he comes in. Anime getting taken out. That's another big pick. There goes the Sound Barrier. Self-destruct coming on top. It doesn't find anything really. Magic Man getting two with the Riptire. They are going to get some, but I don't know if I agree with this whole Hog. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a whole Hog setup from Magic Man with the Riptire, but I'm not sure about that one. Here comes the defense right here from KO. And the Mercy reses the Pharah. Justice Reigns from above, finds one. Zombie Dylan, though, taking out Pharah and Baja Blast. Just taking out a couple of people, finding these picks. Lady of Siren also getting a little piece of that action. Taking out Magic Man. Coalescence being popped. Don't really know if that was necessary, but in any case, they do find Dark. So, I mean, I guess it works out in the end.
A good Moira can build a Koa up back within less than about a minute or so. So while they don't have it for this next fight, our Falk should be able to get it back in case they try to stall this point out.
Yeah, and I guess it was okay because Skillmatic also popped his Coalescence. So I guess it was just a little bit of a trade. Here comes the Valkyrie from Goody, and Bob is being popped, gets thrown in, and there's a little bit of a interesting pin. Zombie Dylan's Bob just getting taken out by the Rhine, just going straight off the map. I don't know about that one. But yeah, here comes the Shatter. Finds a couple people, finding the Moira, finding the Hog. Hog gets taken out by Lady of Siren. Anime finding one as well, finding the Pharah. And yeah, that's going to be it. They don't manage to touch, and they're going to be stopped about halfway to the point, halfway to point 2. So KO has their win condition. This could be it right here. So here we go. The KO has the attack now, and I can almost, I don't want to say guarantee, but because, if I'm wrong, then that's bad, but I can almost guarantee Siren's probably going to play that Pharah. It's just so powerful in the first 2 points.
Siren was doing amazing, though, as that Mei, which was an awful punt from me, but...
Yeah. He did very good on the Mei. Nice walls to just cut off the supports from escaping sometimes. Or just cutting off the tanks, such as Roadhog. And I don't know, you just found a lot of value off of those walls, and the freezes were nice. Of course, everyone complains about Mei, but I mean, there were some good plays from him, though.
Yeah, she had really good walls that, like you said, just kind of purposely targeted 1 or 2 players out there so that they got those picks, especially on those tanks. They got those early picks. And once you lose that specifically shield tank, it's really hard to keep pushing.
Mm-hmm. And they're coming out with this Pharah Widowmaker, but also a Wrecking Ball. Just popped him up. It didn't really do much, didn't really boop him off. And McCree taking out Lady of Siren, but he gets res instantly. So, not really going to do much, but the Diva finds Lady of Siren. That is a pretty nice pick. He also finds Swede, and Zombie Dylan does take out the McCree, though. So, we're going to see how this goes. It could be a pretty nice little, I guess, stagger, I should say. Not really stagger, but it is going to give him a little more space with the Pharah while he's respawning.
Even though they have mines, I almost would like to see them switch off, because there's, the McCree, the Brig, and if you get caught in that trap, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with this Wrecking Ball pick, to be honest. He's kind of in the water right now. He can't really... Yeah, he's not going to be able to get up. He should probably just fall right now. Yep, and he does. Yep, that was sad. Zombie Dylan taking out the McCree, though, yet again. So that is going to open up some space. Oh, wait, no, they switched off. Lady Siren onto the Mei. I don't know if I agree with that, but it could work out. The only reason why I don't agree with it is because first point, right here on the bridge, you can easily boop off a Mei. And here comes the self-destruct. Finding 2, taking out Zombie and Sweet as well. Mines, though, being invested, manages to take out the Baptiste, but it's probably not going to be enough. I don't really know why they would use mines right now, but in any case, they push him back just a little bit, give him some cart push. Huge shatter coming down, finds two, but they get saved. Nothing really comes out of that. Zombie Dylan taking out Magic and Kakashi finding two, and Zombie Dylan gets the second as well. Never mind, they do manage to find some value off of that distraction of the shatter.
There,
So
there was a really nice 360 from Baja when those mines went down, just, using that Rhine shield to clear everything out to try and save as much of the team and make as much space as possible.
Magic Man looking for this flank here, hopefully trying to stop him right here. Uh, Gets the May with the mine, but he falls low, but it doesn't really kill him or anything, so I don't know about that one. And here comes the Shatter, and that doesn't really find any value, but Zombie Boy taking out a couple of people. May freezes them. Nice little blizzard. That was pretty big, honestly. That was a pretty nice blizzard to see. Baptiste right here, Goody, is across the river behind enemy lines.
Oh, and they
He's
know it.
gonna be caught out. Yeah, they know. They know he's there. There's not really much. He should have died a long time ago in Zombie Dylan. That's a huge stagger. They don't have Immortality Field. They don't have Window coming up. That's probably going to be it. They only have Brig to sustain. And the cart's right there. He's so far back on the spawn, it's going to be tough to bring him back. But they are pushing the cart with 3 people, which I believe is what they should be doing. So he's going to be able to get back with Window. So
See, I'm a big
yeah.
proponent of leave one on cart and get those staggers and make it as easy for yourself as possible.
Well, I think they should have had 3 on cart only because they can push it as far as possible without the Immortality Field. But, I mean, in any case, they do find a lot of these picks, though. But their tank does fall, so I don't know. Oh, huge freeze! Manages to set up Kakashi with the mines, taking out the Baptiste yet again. That is a nice little combo right there. They do find a couple with the Bob, and Falk getting one with the Coalescence, and with just his beam straight up. Dylan gets 3 in the fight, and that's going to be it. There's no way they can come back.
Bob in the back with those major picks on that McCree and on that Brig, especially because that Brig had ult there.
And yeah, that's going to do it, though. KO wins the series 3-1. Big big plays coming at the very end from Dylan, Siren, and Kakashi. Those were some nice setups, honestly. Oh yeah, the environmental kills.
So I have a
Oh
couple
no.
of sleeper picks here in regards to who I want my MVPs to be, which
All
we
right,
can
shoot.
talk about. For me, like, DPS was great on both sides. They really combated each other the entire time. We saw Magic Man do great. We saw Doc Sombra do great. We saw IQ Simple was amazing. Lady of Siren on that May and that Farah really definitely made a lot of room. For me, though, Zombie Dylan, we saw Widow. We saw, you know, just so many characters. It's kind of just not even going through my mind. We saw Widow. We saw Ash. I think we saw them play a May at some point. I want to say we saw them at a junk at some point. I just think Zombie Dylan did so much for the team tonight. I would like that would be my DPS pick personally.
Yeah, it's tough because Siren did a lot of work on Anubis and Rialto. But Dylan honestly just played way like every single map he did good. Even the map they, I guess, forfeited, but even the map
Yeah.
they forfeited, he was still doing great. So I mean, yeah, I agree. I think Dylan deserves one of the MVPs.
Yeah.
And my pick for the next MVP, I don't know what it is about Ryan, but I gotta give it to Swede. I
I
know Kakashi. I know he did very good, but I mean, Swede just played good the whole game.
I don't disagree with you. I think Kakashi and Swede both did really well. Um, for me, I wanted to go with Baja. I think the game sense that we saw in Baja with clearing those mines, like immediately clearing those mines, then putting the shield down, trusting their team to, be able to play without having that shield up. For me, I am in between Swede and Baja, and I don't know which one I would want to go 100% for. But that's because I'm also like when I look at support, while Deca did an amazing job and we saw some really good heals from skill, I feel like Anime and Arfok should be super in the discussion for the support MVP. So it's like for the tanks and the supports, I can go with either sides on these ones. So it's like tough for me.
Yeah, the only thing about skill, which is why I wouldn't say him, is just he got picked so much so early on a lot of things um, that from Dylan especially, it is just hard for him to really get any value off of what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Deca did very good. The only time he really, I guess, messed up was not dying instantly and respawning with his team on Rialto. But I mean, other than that, he played or she played very good. Um, Anime played very well, complimented Siren's Pharah, and also had some nice plays on the Ana as well as just the Lucio is like just played very well the whole series. So I
I
don't know, it's tough.
I do it is hard to not say Swede because I really like Swede didn't really overextend too much. Had a really good use of a lot of the hammer downs. They were anywhere from like 2 to 4 to 5 man hammer downs. Great fire strikes because there were points that when you were watching the two tank ults getting built that Swede was maybe a little bit behind, but like a really well aimed fire strike helped Swede build that back up. I could go with Swede honestly.
Yeah. So we got Swede, Zombie Dylan,
And then I would say Deca.
yeah, Deca.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that is it for tonight's match. Thank you so much for coming out. This game went 3-1 in regards to, 3-1 to KO. Our next matchup will be tomorrow night. I'm just trying to check real quick who it's supposed to be. I, I know, I think we have one or two. Um, we have tomorrow night. Oh, there's no one tomorrow night right now unless the game schedules last minute. But next game for the league will be Wednesday at 7:30 CST. Diving Phoenix versus Pizza Planet. So thanks all for coming. We appreciate you, and we will see you Wednesday.